Chrissy Teigen recently called for the government to place more censorship on our social media expression. I have no idea why she thought she was the authority on this given her history on social media. We'll get into that. But recently she took to Instagram to share her thoughts on the recent TikTok 12-hour ban. She said, "Let's talk TikTok. Everyone is bummed. It's on a hiatus for now. It's going to come back." She then suggested the government place a ban on all social media from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. every day. She used
what about the people
her
who
own
work the night
experience.
shift?
Right.
Well, yeah, she's using her experience as an elder millennial to talk about the good old days from before social media was in use by everyone, and it was so nice to not have this phone in your pocket all the time. She said, "I come from the days where we had nothing and then we saw something. Life was awesome before this. This doesn't have to be our lives. Guys, life was great. I know it's hard to see it now, but it's very doable. And I say this for myself as well because obviously I'm on social media right now doing this, but it doesn't have to define us or be our whole lives."
I mean, she's not wrong, but the idea there, it's kind of going back to what we were just talking about, which is like you have to have your own self-control and get yourself away from the social media to do that. I was watching, I've been watching a bunch of like I've finally been back on Instagram. It's like a lot of old concert footage from various bands in the 90s. And they always cut to shots of the crowd, and every comment on the platform is like, look at all the people without phones in their hand. It's like that's how far we've come as a society, where it was just an accomplishment to not hold up your phone and record everything. Mm-hmm. But should the government be involved in doing so? I say, like, what about the poor security guard who has to work the night shift and wants to be on social media when he should be looking at the cameras at whatever building he's working at?
Or what about just making your own choices? There's
Exactly.
absolutely no reason for the government to get involved in what we can and cannot look at any given time. Never mind setting curfews on social media. Governments will set curfews in real life in cities and stuff, like when there's riots
During COVID.
yeah, and that was totally out of line.
Do you set a curfew for yourself on social media use, or do you use it pretty much all hours?
I mean, it kind of depends on what I'm doing. Like, often I'm working until shortly before I go to sleep and like pass out with my laptop in my hand. So, you know, that's a thing. Like, if it's your job, it's your job. It's hard to get away from it. But otherwise, no, I mean, I have little triggers on my phone, little things on my phone where, like, if I pick up my phone and my first impulse will be to like look at Twitter or Instagram or something, and a lot of times I have other stuff on and I'll just be like, oh, just do this instead.
I put
and
all
it will
my
curb my social media use. Like, I'll just be like, oh, I'll play Tetris.
Like, I have the Instagram and Twitter in subfolders that aren't on the main screen, so I have to go
Takes
to
more
the
work.
It just takes more work to get
my
now.
Instagram is, my Twitter isn't, just because I use the Twitter all the time.
Well, that's the reason
Then
I
it
did it.
becomes a reflex too.
It's so easy to
for
get
me,
to it
it's
now
like
without
a
even
work
thinking about it.
thing. It's
Yeah, I'm not against the idea of a government curfew on social media in and of itself if the trade-off that we got in return was free expression the other 12 hours of the day. If we were
So,
allowed
like,
to
no
say whatever
censorship the
we
rest of
want,
the
yeah,
time.
if we were just allowed to use social media whatever way we want without shadow banning, censorship, or any funny business, the other 12 hours of the day, I would be fine with a curfew. But that's not the situation we're in.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I would rather teach people the benefits of understanding how good you can feel once you actually get off social media. I mean, I know that's how I feel when I'm finally off of it for the evening. Granted, I don't do it very well all the time, but I do, you know, depending on the day of the week, I'm pretty good about it. And it's the same thing.
I wonder what Roseanne Barr would think of this idea.
Why?
Social media curfew. Because she was, like, canceled for her tweets about
right, because she was like up too late and messing around.
If
what
I
was her
was,
name? Valerie Jarrett or something.
Valerie Jarrett, yeah, she was an Obama advisor.
She was like up in the middle of the night on like Vyvanse or something.
No, it was Ambien. I think.
Oh, she was on Ambien.
That's what I'm saying. If I was still taking Ambien, my tweets would be crazy.
If we had a social media curfew, then Roseanne would have never been canceled.
Yep.
So I don't know. Might be worth it. But I just think it's ironic that Chrissy Teigen, of all people, is the one suggesting these rules, because she has a terrible history with social media and has been exposed publicly for cyberbullying teenagers and telling them to kill themselves.
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I looked into the history of all this. I looked into her apology. She said, Chrissy Teigen said she's been trying to make amends with those she hurt following accusations of cyberbullying. In her first televised interview since she was accused of cyberbullying, she revealed that she's been taking time to grow and learn from the experience. She posted a
That's
lengthy...
what we were all hoping for.
Imagine not knowing when you're an adult that it's bad to cyberbully teenagers into telling them to off themselves.
Teigen posted a lengthy apology for her past horrible tweets after Courtney Stodden revealed that Teigen had tweeted and direct messaged her, telling her to kill herself when she was still a teenager. Courtney Stodden was sort of a fascinating figure in pop culture back when this happened because she was a child bride to a man in his 70s, I believe.
No. He was like in his
60s.
So he was an actor,
Okay,
right?
regardless, we're talking
Still,
about
that's very weird.
a
How old was
16-year-old. She was 16 years old.
Well, it was big
and
'cause
her
her
parents
parents let it
signed
happen,
off
yeah.
on her being this old man's child bride.
That's like some Iraqi type of
it was
stuff
insane.
going on. Yeah.
Yeah, and people thought like this is going on in America. This is insane. So she was getting a lot of backlash in the media at the time, which was far less sympathetic to people back then. And Chrissy Teigen was part of that bandwagon. According to Courtney Stodden, quote, she wouldn't just publicly tweet about wanting me to take a dirt nap, but would also privately DM me and tell me to kill myself. Things like, I can't wait for you to die. Teigen said she didn't feel like anybody was going to read those messages at the time. I didn't really think about the impact and the person on the other side. I just hope that these people can forgive. There's this whole cliche of I'm glad it happened, but it truly made me a stronger, better person. Oh, I'm glad it made you a better person that you cyberbullied children on the
Maybe it would
internet.
be better to ask her if
Crazy.
she checked in on the person she did it to see if they're okay, rather than talking about what it did to you.
Well, I'm sure Courtney Stodden isn't okay because of what happened to her, and then she ended up identifying as non-binary and all this
What is
crazy
she
stuff.
doing now?
She's
She
married
went
to
by
somebody
they,
else.
them pronouns.
She's married to someone else now.
Did
Yeah.
she
She's
She's married
divorce
to
the
an
old man?
actor. It's like Hutchison. What's his name? Guy was in.
Josh?
No. The guy was in The Green Mile. I forget. It's
okay. Well, I mean, it's
Doug
not.
Hutchison,
It's
yeah.
not just the cyberbullying, though. I think a lot of you are familiar with Chrissy Teigen's weird tweets about children from back in the day, which get resurfaced from time to time. She tweeted at Diddy back then. She said, another tweet from 2011, I'm bored, really want to watch kids give birth. Where can I watch teens giving birth?
What? Isn't that's an MTV show, right? 16 and
That
Pregnant?
was, I suppose, her joke was
Yeah,
that she wanted to watch
weird.
teenagers giving birth. Another one said, I just saw a baby that looked like a porn star, like a trashy do-anything porn star. Is this wrong to think?
Of a baby? Yeah, that's kind of weird. That's wrong to think that.
Seeing little girls do the splits half naked is just ... I want to put myself in jail. A little boy
Wait, who
in the
wrote that?
pageant now? Finally, some eye candy for me. These
Oh,
are all real
God.
tweets.
Plus, she did marry John Legend, and that's sus as it is.
And then she also said in 2011, I'm about to Anthony Weiner this kid. I now know what parents go through when they are forced to tie their kids up in a basement. You have to do it, but it's icky, am I right?
There's a 20
That's
there.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So I guess she could really benefit from a social media curfew. The Manic Mustache said, intermittent fasting, don't eat until 8 p.m., then eat myself into a food coma. I lost 45 pounds, but now I can't fall asleep until I've eaten to the point of physical exhaustion and discomfort. What we do to stay thin, stay toxic. And we
That's
have another
crazy.
20 from Gordon Shumway. Brett, before smartphones, if you got caught recording anything at a concert, security would escort you out.
That's right.
If you
'cause
had
it
a
was
press pass,
how
you would
you
be
did-
allowed to take pics for the first few songs only.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's like what bootlegging was.
Yeah.
It's against the rules.
Yeah.
Now that's true with a lot of comedy clubs. Last time I was at a
Yeah,
comedy
it's a
club,
bigger
they
deal
made
at
me
comedy
put my
clubs.
phone in a thing
Well, they don't want they don't want the whole routine to get out because
and
they
then
have to be able to
cancel
perform
the
it.
comic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Maybe that's her whole point is like, look, I was a little drunk that day.
On all of those days.
On all of those days.
Literally all of them.
Maybe there should be a ban, and what somebody should say to her is like, maybe you should look a little bit within yourself and say, maybe I shouldn't do a bunch of shit and then tweet.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, not everybody has that problem.
Not everybody has that problem where they tweet sexual innuendo about children on Twitter.
As I said,
I feel like anybody else would get canceled for any single one of those tweets.
She did get backlash for all of that.
But her and John
still
Legend are still media darlings.
They're still darlings. They still, like, remember when they started talking about how they had public sex at the DNC?
At this past DNC,
no,
or this was like years ago?
I think it was one of the Obama DNCs. But yeah, they talked about that, and then John Legend like interrupted and was basically like, "Maybe don't talk about that." Or sex in the bathroom.
Because she's definitely in charge when that's happening.
Yeah, it was weird and gross, and it's like, why are you still celebrities?
Pervert.
Yeah,
they're
why
perverts.
Are you guys still celebrities?
And then John Legend had to go add insult to injury when he ruined "Baby It's Cold Outside" for everyone, making it woke and a song about consent.
Yeah.
Well, Kim Kardashian just had to ruin Santa Baby.
They're doing it to every single thing that we love. We can't have nice things, and we can't have social media
can't have nice things
because of people like Chrissy Teigen.
Yeah, that's like that just keeps getting worse because people don't know what words mean, and
all right,
everyone misinterprets everything all the time.
Point being, Chrissy Teigen is the last person I want to come up with government policy.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.